Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new Insta360 Ace Pro 2. Now, we've been using Insta360 for quite a few years here, and one thing I want to say is that we use a lot of the 360 cameras, as the name implies, but I love trying out some newer cameras that they offer, and the Ace Pro 2 really surprised me at how well it recorded for off-road riding and for motorcycle-specific use. So, what we're going to talk about in this video is a lot of the features that come with it, a lot of the key features out there, but really how it applies to a motorcyclist. If you're watching this, I'd imagine you are. And someone out there riding looking to just capture their footage. If you want all the nitty gritty from a camera dedicated person, I'm not that type. I'm a rider first that happens to record a lot of stuff for work. So I'll try to give you the best features out there. I'm sure there's tons of other videos from Insta360 to really talk about the nitty gritty features and everything about like the AI chip installed on it. I'm going to talk about the features pretty generally and then go into a lot of the how-to and the use case scenarios. But one thing I'll call out is it a solid camera for off-road riding specifically, but a lot of on-road use as well. I think Insta360 did a great job of really going after Goliath in GoPro and really giving the users out there an option that is both user-friendly, but also has a lot of features that pack a heavy punch for the price point. So this is coming in about $470 for the motorcycle-specific bundle. And it is a very standard single lens facing camera as opposed to, as the name implies, Insta360. It's not a 360 camera, it's just gonna be a single facing point of view camera out there. I can actually power it on here. This one is gonna be super dirty. I was out riding in central PA this past weekend doing a lot of recording out there, and I'll show you the footage as well that I got. One thing I'll say though, super impressive with the low light capabilities of this camera. It was a rainy day. We were in a lot of overhang, a lot of greenery. You didn't have much sunlight coming through, and the amount of detail and attention to detail the camera was able to pick up was pretty impressive out there. But looking at the main construction of the unit itself, again, it's more square design that we've been kind of trained to know from the GoPro years out there. But one cool part is that it does have a flip up touchscreen camera. So if you are using it, you can face it back to yourself. You can have it face towards what you're doing, or you can just keep it down and facing so you can control it behind. It is touchscreen. It has a really nice hand to it. I'll even pull it around here that you can tap it and swipe up to change which styles you're shooting in, to the side to do different things, see all the old camera footage that you have on there. Just really intuitive in how it gets used, but you also have a front-facing camera with just snippets of information, what mode you're shooting in, battery life, how much memory is stuck on there, and really cool LEDs on there. Two-button design. You do have the power button over on the left-hand side. Underneath that is the door that you can open up for charging, for dumping the data if you want to do that, and the micro SD card that is included. It comes with a 128 gigabyte micro SD card that right out of the box that you can toss in there. On the other side, you do have the door for the battery included in the box. You do get the battery as well. But the cool part is you get a spare battery, which is inside this little container in here. You have a spare battery, which is super crucial for anybody out there shooting for all day riding. I know I didn't actually even need to use this when I was out riding all day at the Dirty Dabbers event. I was able to just get through with one battery, but if I needed to go a second day, it'd be nice to have, especially when we're out there on the trails. But that's the first button on the top. I mentioned the doors on both sides. You also have the record button up on the top of it up here, and then that little screen. Down in the front of the facing, you do have a removable lens. It is a Leica partnered lens, so I love that they're using technology from other companies out there that are fantastic. It is a full lens out there with a great aperture on there, and you can replace it. Like I said, if I just twist it on there, even with the dirt and grime around it, the lens is perfectly clean on the inside, and you can replace the cover if you really want to. Down at the bottom side of it is a little bit of a guard for the microphone that's built in there just to keep any debris off of. You can see it was actually taking a lot of hits from mud. I was riding behind Spurgeon. Spurgeon tends to kick up a lot of roost with anybody that he rides with. So you do have that cover. I will say, if you want to go for maximum waterproofing, there is a smaller cover that you can replace on there that actually goes over top of it, protects the microphone, still allows noise to go through, but for the maximum amount of waterproofing that you'd want, you want to add that in there. Pretty easy to remove. It does take a little bit of a push down, and then it just pops off on there if you want to swap it out. I tend to like having this one on there. I'm not typically going scuba diving or riding in downpour. It's still waterproof with this microphone on there. It's just only slightly waterproof. Once you get into like going underwater, you want to make sure you're adding this one on there. But even in the rainstorm that we got caught in, that was doing a perfectly fine job. As for actual filming, you're looking at anywhere from 1080p up to 8K, anywhere from 30 frames per second up to 240 frames per second. Now, obviously the 240 is going to be closer to the 1080p. As you go up in quality, it tends to limit how much frames per second it can actually hold. But I do love that you have the option to really go for it. I was shooting in 8K all weekend. That's the footage that I'm going to be showing up there on screen that you can see. That's what I was shooting in, was 8K, really at 30 frames per second. I think it came out fantastic. If I really needed something, if I was shooting in slow-mo, that's where it tends to pull back on the quality, but it does have slow-mo. It has a lot of different modes, even road mode that'll overlap on looping recording if you need to do so. But it does have photo mode as well. It's anywhere from 12.5 megapixels up to 50, depending on the quality that you're choosing. Shoots in 16.9 4:3 as well as 2.35 by 1. It does come with a mount out of the box that you can utilize. It's actually a magnetic mount, which we saw from Insta360 in the past. It just grabs on. You just make sure that it's in there and it's not going to be going anywhere. But it comes with the mount. Why I have my dirt helmet up here on the table in front of me is because it also comes with a helmet mount in the box as well. This is probably the best feature, or the best helmet mount I've seen stock, other than looking at other brands out there that use adhesive. This just uses a nice rubber backing on there and then has Velcro straps that go up and under. You can see it's mounted over here on my dirt lid, which is very dirty, but it did not budge the entire day when riding. It didn't really hinder any of the ventilation either. It wasn't getting overly hot, but you can see I have it installed in there, and I was actually rocking the camera upside down and installed in there, so it was shooting forward. So it was actually getting a better angle than, say, shooting up like this and being in my field of view. But really cool that it's included in the box. One thing I will say is it is Velcro, so you want to make sure that Velcro is fully seated. I was having it catch on my jersey. I just had to adjust it to make sure it wasn't grabbing onto it. But a nice quick release magnetic mounting system that actually hooks into place as well, so it's nice and secure. There are other availabilities out there for accessories, like an L bracket that'll help you shoot vertical instead of shooting horizontal, because that is one of the bummers if you are uploading to social media, like most people these days are. You're going to want to make sure you pick up that accessory out there. Insta, if you are listening, I would love for that to be included. It just powered off because I wasn't doing anything with it. I would love for you to include that L bracket in the box, just because at this point most people are taking that footage and uploading it to social media. That's usually going to be running in a vertical format. So again, if you are listening, I'd love to see that included in the box. Love that we're getting a straight mount system, but I'd love to see an even better mount on the future editions of this camera. If I power it back on, again, I just want to give a good glimpse of like the side profile of it, how easy it is. One cool part is that you hear it make that noise as it powers on. I was turning it on, turning it back off all throughout the ride, throughout the day. I love hearing that audible. It also makes a little vibration, which you can feel through the helmet when it was mounted up to mine. You can actually feel that vibrate through, just to make sure that, oh, I know that it's actually on, which is really cool. And then as soon as you start recording, it makes a vibration noise and a noise as well. So I didn't have to like pull over, make sure, look in the mirror, make sure it was actually running, because I don't have mirrors on my enduro bike. So it's nice to have that little vibration going through there. Just kind of a nice touch for motorcycle riders out there, and a nice little feature that you feel more than having to see and visually confirm on. Other things to kind of notably talk about with the Ace Pro 2, they are using dual AI chips in there for video stabilization, for low light imaging, just using as much technologies out there. That's just the name of the game when it comes to action cameras. There's always going to be cool new technology that they're incorporating into it. We'll probably see a new version in a few years using some cooler technology as AI steadily advances, but I like that they're constantly reaching out and trying to get a lot of the features out there that riders are looking for if you're creating content, if you're just using it for insurance purposes, if you're just mounting it up there, or if you're vlogging, you can mount it up on your bars. And the cool part is you can flip the camera up, have it mounted facing back at you, and see exactly what you're recording. Another cool part that I even forgot to mention before, they do have hand gesture motions. So if you wave at the camera or just put your hand up or anything like that, it'll actually count down whether it's a camera for a photo or if it is a video, it'll actually do it automatically. So you don't have to press the button. I don't mind pressing the button. It seems a little bit easier that way, but it is cool that they're looking into different directions as riders, that we might not have to fully touch it and take our focus off of the controls and riding in order to do. So really cool technology, really cool included parts with Insta360. I love the double battery. I love the camera right out of the gate. I love that they're partnering with Leica. They have a lot of cool features. The helmet mount works great. I like that they're giving you the microphone cover out of the box, and dual batteries and 128 gig out of the box is fantastic for riders just looking to get into it and start. One thing I will say, make sure you update your firmware. And when you do, go through the tutorial. Every time they do a firmware update, you got to go through a tutorial system. I was trying to figure that out for the first hour hour why hitting the record button wasn't working. It's because it was trying to explain to me, this is how you actually record. So just get that done when you're in the parking lot before you go out on the trails, or if you're going out for a ride with your buddies. But that's kind of a motorcyclist approach at looking at the Ace Pro 2, how I found it as an advantage. But if you have any other questions or anything like that, click the info button. That'll take you to the product page. That's where we're going to list all the features that the Ace Pro 2 has, as well as what it can shoot in, all the information that Insta360 has given us, and you can read other rider reviews to see what other riders are saying about their use with the Ace Pro 2. If you still have questions after that, or if you're kind of confused if you should go with a 360 camera like I use, or these Ace Pro 2s that I just started using from Insta360, give our customer service agents a call. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and checking out the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. I'm Pat. See you in the next video.